Titans of Transition, Greg and Julie Gorman.
I think one of the key breakthroughs came in that season of time because the wrestling, the abrasion that was taking place caused that hard, real search of, okay, well, we stepped out of something. What is it exactly that we're supposed to step into? And I remember during that season as he was going through a lot of shifts in his heart and in his mind, for me, it was a little bit easier. I knew why I was leaving. I knew where I was going to. I had that definitive wife. So in that sense, the transition was easier because very firmly I'm a person of faith. And I knew that I had been spent for a lot of things, selling insurance, selling, all kinds of stuff. And God began to deal with my heart, said, I want you've been spent for a lot of things. I want you to be spent for me. Well, that gave me a tunnel vision. It gave me a direction. And I think that in life transitions, the clearer the vision of where you're going to, the easier it becomes. Greg stepped out with obedience, but really was stepping off into like this black abyss of not really knowing exactly where it was he was stepping, and had to have a trust in each one of those steps. And so I think the real key breakthrough for him was about that 5-year marker. We were having a real honest conversation about where he was. And he began to ask some questions that gave him then his new true why that allowed the transition to take place. So maybe you can tell about that.
Sure. Yeah. I reached sort of a place where I was the end of myself and really began to seek and search for purpose again. And I asked Julie, I'm like, what would you ask to help coach me through this? And so there were multiple questions that she asked because she loves to ask questions. She's a great coach. It comes natural.
I'll drive you nuts with questions.
One of the questions that she asked me, Joe, that was so significant was where had the fruit in my life come from? Where had the fruit in my life up to that point come from? And it's such a powerful question when you're seeking direction and you're seeking purpose, because it begins to point us back to sort of our natural inclinations, the things that have served us well over our life. And although it had manifested itself in a lot of different ways and a lot of different arenas, really what it boiled down to was leadership. There were two things. It was leadership of people, and God's just given me a gift for being able to lead people, and I've also studied it for years as well, so that would make sense. And then the other one is family. It's really in the uniqueness of our marriage and the quality of our relationship, and even the relationship with our kids and how we parent and the relationship that we have with them. And so with those two things, I had two big clues to begin to build upon. And as I began to apply myself, became successful in the corporate world, doing corporate speaking and keynotes, a lot of corporate coaching gigs and so on and so forth. And then I began to feel yet another tug at my heart for another transition.
Hey, thanks for joining me today on Titans of Transition. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please check the show notes for additional information. Also, please like and subscribe to this channel.